Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if your sun is in Capricorn and your moon is in Libra. And this combination, I feel, can be a powerhouse even though it forms a square. Both of these signs are cardinal signs. The other two cardinal signs are Aries and Cancer, and cardinal signs take action. So whatever a cardinal sign wants to do in life, they're much more likely to go for it than just to sit there and tell everybody what their plans are. They actually do things. They're the movers and the shakers, if you will. When you have double cardinal energy, you're even more in that vein where you're a natural leader, you're a natural doer, and when people do things, they're more likely to actually make them happen. I mean, that's just logic. You can have the most amazing plans, ideas, but if you don't implement them, what good is it? So, the sun being the aspirational self can give us an overview about what kind of goals the person has, while the moon can be more of the emotions that the person emits, as well as, kind of the mood that they have on a regular basis. And this is why it is so good that the moon is in Libra, because it will tend to produce more of a balanced type of a mood. The only thing that could throw that off balance, and that's the key word of Libra is balance, is the square from the sun. Now, not everybody with this combination will officially have a square. It depends on the degree of the sun and the degree of the moon. However, if we just look at it in general as a challenging combination, then there could be some areas where these two signs clash, and therefore the goals of each sign are at loggerheads. And so the emotional nature of somebody with the moon in Libra is that they, first of all, Libra is an air sign. So the emotions are not going to tend to be displayed in a very overt way, because air signs are detached. They are coming from the mind, and so they are abstractions. And coupled with a sun sign that is earth, that will add to the detachment. But this is actually a good thing, because it can make it easier, no matter what the person's background, if they've had trauma in their life or whatever, for them to transcend that and be able to function at a higher level. I'm not saying that people with this combination, if they have come from a place of trauma, that they would just be completely immune from any negative effects of that. However, as a matter of fact, some people who are very detached from their emotional problems can, be out of touch with it, and therefore not be healed, and it can show up in other areas. So it's something that a person still has to contend with, but it can still allow the person to function at a higher level than if, for instance, there was water energy and the same type of background. Because that sort of individual would probably be much more caught up in their emotions. A person with the moon in Libra usually wants relationships as part of their emotional security. And that's one of the aspects of the moon, too, is like, how do we feel secure? With Libra, it's through relationships. And so, because Capricorn is a very ambitious sign, this may create that kind of conflict as well, because the person has a lot of ambition, a lot of goals that they want to achieve. And if they're trying to balance their social life or their romantic life, they might find that something has to give. They can't really do both to the level that they want to do it, because Libra is a very sociable sign. And so mingling with others is very natural and enjoyable for Libra people. And when I say Libra people, even the moon in Libra can be part of that. And so anyway, with the sun in Capricorn, career matters are front and center, and it's all about climbing that ladder of success. Capricorn is a symbol of the mountain goat, and climbing that mountain is very appealing to Capricorn. You know, the rags to riches type of mentality or circumstance. And it doesn't matter if the Capricorn person, comes from a more affluent background. There's always somewhere else they can ascend to. So that is what is most appealing to Capricorn people, is this idea of bettering themselves. But it's going to be from a material perspective many times, because Capricorn is an earth sign. So it's looking for those tangible results. However, I have found in my reading that there are quite a few yogis who are Capricorns, or were, that, that are kind of like on the famous side. And I was trying to figure out now, why would that even be? But that's true also of other earth signs. And it seems like almost contradictory, because you expect the earth element to be materialistic. Why would they become spiritual leaders? Well, first of all, the leader part definitely goes along with Capricorn, and Capricorns like to be the mentor. The guru is kind of that person who is helping others from their stature, as somebody who is an expert in their field and what have you. So the Capricorn is a winter sign. The last four signs of the zodiac, which are Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, are the winter signs. And they are considered the wisest signs because they are the last signs. And so for Capricorn to be the last earth sign, while it still is an earth sign, it has accumulated that wisdom of the earth. And the highest manifestation of the earth is the ability to, do things that are tangible, coming from a wise perspective. And this is another way we can look at it too, is like with shamanism and also paganism, I guess you could say. These are earth religions, but they are also about personal alchemy or personal transformation. They simply utilize elements of the earth as part of their spiritual practice. And given that everything of this earth was created by God, there is nothing that is not sacred, that is also in nature, even though it is of a material nature, the material elements, it still has that sacred quality because it is created by God directly, you know. So Capricorns sometimes tend to be pessimistic and stingy, you know, not that generous financially, because Saturn is their ruler. And Saturn is very much about restriction, not being too not being overly indulgent, wasteful, being very economical. And Libra, because it's ruled by Venus, has I don't know if I'd say a hedonistic side to it itself, but definitely Libra is associated with a love of beauty and nice things. So that might be something of a conflict within the person where there's a part of themselves that is very austere and a part of themselves, especially when they're emotionally vulnerable, that wants to kind of do some retail shopping or what do they call it? Retail therapy. Trying to, or just even the desire for the finer things in life. And that could certainly come from the person's emotional nature. When they feel like they are lacking in something, they try to make it happen through the material, the goods that they have. But Libra does love beautiful things, and those tend to cost more money. So that might be where a lot of the push pull comes from. And with, like I said, with the private life, the demands of the private life may clash with the demands of the professional life. This could be a great combination for somebody who owns a business because the person may be very practical and naturally acclimated to business in general, but also have that personal touch. Also be able to connect with clients. And I feel like that is one of those things that is maybe a bit of a lost art that a lot of people don't have, even when they have their own business, that they don't put that personal touch and try to be personable with people that are their potential clients or are their current clients. And just that little extra elegance that Libra possesses can go a long way. In personal relationships, this sort of person may be something of a people pleaser where they want other people to approve of them. And they have to realize that they'll never get that sort of universal acceptance from others. And this may cause such a person to really try to be even more ambitious because they're trying to prove themselves to the world, but they're coming from a place of maybe we could say insecurity to some degree. I don't see Libra as a sign as insecure, but I think that sometimes Libra people, if the Libra moon signs, if they don't get what they are looking for, that can cause them to feel that sense of imbalance and looking to make it happen through being accepted. The mother may exhibit these types of traits because the moon is attached to the mother. For a female Capricorn with the moon in Libra, this can be a situation of a mother who was excessively preoccupied maybe with her appearance and passed that down to you in one way or the other. And it could be almost in a, what's that term? Like subconscious way. You may subconsciously link your physical appearance to your ability to attract and keep love if you experience that from the mother. I I do this combination. I can't get a good feel for whether the individual would be more likely to, get to have that distortion of their physical appearance or not, because I think that Capricorn as a sign, I think that's one of the good things about earth signs is that they tend to deal with what is at hand. So if they have, just like Taurus is ruled by Venus as well, but a Taurus person may be more likely to accept the hand that they've been dealt with when it comes to their physical appearance, and because that idea of being down to earth, it's much more of the what you see is what you get type of vibe that they give off. In my observation of air signs, and so this is extends beyond Libras to Geminis and Aquarians, um, I feel like of all the four elements, that the air signs can be what I call the goofiest, which can also be, you could say, the craziest in terms of the way that they take different concepts in life, and because they're thinking too much about them, it's all in the mind, so it becomes very abstract. So this is how a concept such as beauty can be distorted and made to seem like I need to be beautiful in order to be loved, like taking in that distorted message based on experiences that might suggest that. An example would be if a person with this combination was cheated on. Let's say a woman was cheated on by a man, and let's say that the man told her that her breasts were too small, and he ended up cheating on her. It would be very likely that this woman would come to the conclusion that the reason that he cheated on her was because of the size of her breasts. Now, could that be true? 100%. Maybe that person is really that shallow. But the thing is that rather than take it to the level of, wow, I was with a very shallow person, I'm glad that I am rid of that person in my life, this individual might end up getting breast implants so that that doesn't happen again, instead of questioning that person's attitude. And because the sun is in Capricorn, yes, I think that that might be, yeah, that now that I think about it, it might put that person more in danger of doing something like that, simply because they do have that earth element that thinks, hey, you know, this is, especially being a cardinal earth sign, taking action on material matters. So, hey, maybe I do need to improve my appearance, and then this won't happen to me in the future. And I can solve all my problems um, with doing something on the material level, with tweaking my physical appearance. So be on the lookout for those kinds of attitudes because they can um, obscure the spiritual lesson in some of the experiences that you may have, and you just kind of like focus on the material solution to the problem instead. Also, don't spiritually bypass, or, well, that is a form of spiritual bypass, but don't, I mean emotionally bypass. With earth air combination like this, the person may have a tendency to be quite whatchamacallit, detached to the point of being out of touch with feelings, as I stated earlier, and then not really knowing how to solve the issue because they are not, they might even be in denial of how they feel or just not aware fully of how they feel. In terms of the private life, this individual should watch out for any kind of love relationships that get in the way of their professional life. You don't want to have a stormy love life and that affecting your career because that's very important to you. So, getting your emotional needs, a handle on your emotional needs, can be very important in being able to do this. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.